I arguably should have tapped out long before I ended up losing the flipper, but everyone was having fun, so I just thought it was really funny just to keep going. Hey builders, I'm Tyler of Team Cryptid Robotics, and today I'm going to tell you about how my antweight lifter Bigfoot did up in Harbor City Riot in Duluth. For the past month, I've been focusing on HODAG videos, so I'm a couple months behind on this one. And I assume that a lot of you might not know about Bigfoot, since although it was my primary focus for the entirety of last year, this year I was focusing on HODAG so I could get ready for NHRL. Going into this event, I would pretty much just pull Bigfoot out of a box and ran it as is. I didn't make any design changes. The only thing I did was I managed to get a servo horn, because if you watched my video on MRCA finals, that was an ongoing issue where I didn't have enough spare servo horns and I tried 3D printing them and it didn't work. Luckily, some other builders in the MRCA were able to give me recommendations, one of which was in stock and fit. I should mention that I also brought HODAG to this event, and if you want to see how HODAG did, you can watch this video right here. But without further ado, let's get into it. Our first fight is against a two-wheeled overhead drill robot called Scrapper. Last year it was running as a two-wheeled grabber. It still has the dustpan it used to have, so it's really good at getting underneath robots and just sort of kind of controlling them, except for now it's drilling into them. I forgot about this because I haven't been running Bigfoot much this year, so I haven't been paying as much attention to what's going on with the ants in the Midwest. And so I didn't think to put top armor on until he came over and asked me if I had top armor. And I was like, oh, yes, I do. And then I switched out the top plate to the titanium top plate. It's only on the one side, the side with the battery. So I do have the side with the servo, and the left side, I believe left side drive is exposed to his drill. So hopefully he isn't able to get anything important. Look closely at which drive side went down. So you'll see that I had a lot of trouble getting underneath him. My forks couldn't get underneath his dustpan going front to front. I was able to come along the side a few of the times, and so I was able to control the fight in certain points. But he definitely had a little bit more control over me in most of that fight. I feel like aggression was kind of relatively even. Like I had to maneuver away from him a lot to get away from him, so he was coming straight at me more than I was going straight at him. So he technically had more aggression because he could go straight on with me. He did get some drills in on that side, but after removing the top plate, the internal damage was negligible. He pretty much only did some cosmetic damage to the servo. Luckily, it had an aluminum case. But what was really annoying is I lost the drive side, but if you're paying attention, the drive side that went down was the side with the titanium top plate, which he didn't even really try to drill into. Doing some investigating, it seems that the problem is with the Malinky itself. It's no longer, it wasn't able to give enough current to that side. Like sometimes it would spin, but a lot of time it seemed to be on the Malinky side and seemed to be a current issue as opposed to a wiring issue or a motor issue. I actually had a similar issue at the start of the event with another one of my Malinkys. Luckily, I had 3 because I got 3 for finals because I wanted to be extra prepared for that. But now I'm down to 1 after this fight. And keep in mind, even though I said I got it out of a box, I did check all 3 of them before I even went to this event. So this is really frustrating. Our second fight is against a 2-wheeled horizontal spinner called Speccture. It is the 1-pound version of the Spectre that Hodag fought at the same event. I noticed pretty early on that coming from the sides or the back, I'm not able to get underneath him with my wedge. And I realized the only way to get underneath him is through the weapon, which is not ideal. A key reason that I'm struggling to self-right here is a combination of me being less practiced with self-righting since I haven't been driving Bigfoot as much this year, but also the fact that the first wheels he takes out are the rear wheels, and those are pretty important for me being able to self-right.
It's half off already. Get him. He's gonna kill time, and now's the time.
I arguably should have tapped out long before I ended up losing the flipper, but everyone was having fun, so I just thought it was really funny just to keep going. Obviously, I ended up losing the judge's decision. No surprise there. I would say what led to that loss was a combination of me not being as well-versed in driving Bigfoot recently, but also me being not able to get underneath him from the sides and the back. I think I need to rethink my configuration for going against horizontal spinners so that I can care at least a little bit about the ground game. I unfortunately forgot to take pictures of all the damage and I threw out a lot of the components, but I pretty much had to replace most of the chassis and the base plate and the flipper and all the wheels. Luckily, I only lost one drive motor with one of the drive shafts on the gearbox being sheared off. Like the damage I took didn't cost me much money at all because even the wedge that ended up coming flying off, I was able to just screw those onto a new wedge, and anything else that was damaged was basically 3D printed, and I have plenty of wheels. So, but it was a bit of a scramble to get ready for the next fight. I was literally called up for my next fight within a few seconds of me screwing on my top plate. And I should mention that we still have 2 more fights because it was modified Swiss. Even though we went 0-2 and are no longer in the running for like the tournament. But our next fight is against Painkiller, which is a 2-wheeled undercutter. Since they've also been 0-2, we should be able to win this as long as we can get our stuff together and not have anything go terribly wrong. I realized after the match the reason my drive is messed up there is because one of the motors, when I was putting it together, wasn't quite seated perfectly because I was in such a hurry. And so you'll notice that one motor will kind of go in and out. wrong wheel.
No, you can't figure out which way is forward. The robot's fine.
What came in with that?
Oh, yeah, that doesn't smell
Light comes in and out. 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that's the fight. Luckily, my opponent was also having drive issues, but our drive issues were just consistent enough to be able to control the match and be able to get the judge's decision. I don't know if there's really much to learn from that fight other than make sure everything's assembled properly going into the fight. But with that, we'll just go into our fourth and final fight against Antmine. Antmine is a two-wheel drive wedge, so it's basically a control v control matchup. So let's see how it goes. We end up getting that judge's decision. I feel pretty good about my driving, and we were able to get underneath them a lot of the time when we were front to front. And even with that, I was able to maneuver around her a lot more than she was able to maneuver around me. And I feel pretty good about the move where I was able to push her across the arena and then get the flip in right before the wall to sort of get a little more oomph behind the flip, since we know the servo isn't super powerful. Using the drive to make the flips a little bit more impactful definitely worked, and I may try to use that more in the future. I haven't really been doing that as much until now. A lot of times I've been doing the pin and then at the end of the count flipping. Overall, we went 2-2 that day. I think we might have done better had I not had Bigfoot sitting in a box for several months. I mean, that's kind of a consequence of doing that. And since I burned 2 Malinkis and I'm only down to 1 Malinki, and I don't want to buy more because I want to switch to a different receiver, I want to do Express LRS like I use on Hodag, I'm not going to be running Bigfoot as is at any more events. So the next time you'll see Bigfoot, it'll be version 4. I'm hoping to have version 4 be able to run as a plastic ant at the Indianapolis event at the end of June. But we'll see if that ends up happening. It's going to depend on whether I can get it working and when parts arrive, among other factors. But I definitely want to run it as the plastic ant at the first event just to get any kinks out because I'm trying a lot of new stuff with that. It's a complete overhaul. I did the CAD from scratch. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the full build video on the new version of Bigfoot. And if you're looking for another Bigfoot video to watch, here's how Bigfoot did at finals. It was a pretty exciting event, some good fights in there.